And number 5, I'm going to go for John Terry. And in terms of his longevity, he's at that club, what they won, body on the line. Actually, as well, much better footballer than people give him credit for. Could play off his right and left foot. And the team he played in suited him as well.
Yeah. Well, very successful, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, it's your boy Amuli. Now check this shit out, gang. Now, the thing is, y'all just heard what Rio Ferdinand said. And once this shit came out, man, and once John Terry heard this shit didn't sit well with him. He replied to the claim that Rio Ferdinand made that John Terry is number 5 in all-time Premier League history of defenders with an Instagram story. Damn right. That shit, he felt it in his soul and he had to say something about it. Now, on his Instagram story, he posted, "Opinions are great, but stats don't lie." And then on the background you can see hella like different awards where John Terry was nominated for. Now, Rio Ferdinand had to reply to that shit. He hopped on Twitter finger, and he said, at John Terry, "The moment one has to start pushing their own records and stats, it's really time to start addressing the fragile ego. You're lucky I even put you in my top 5 after racism case with my brother, so be thankful you made it." And then John Terry snapped back on Twitter saying, "A fragile ego is putting yourself at number 1, Rio. Thanks for putting me in your top 5 though." Now, man, this is actually kind of funny because it's actually true. Rio Ferdinand put himself as number 1, and then he accused of John Terry saying he got a fragile ego, and John Terry actually just pointed that shit. But anyways, man, one fan saw all these shenanigans and he commented to the John Terry reply. John Terry addressing the fragile ego part of the tweet in other racist allegations is fucking killing me. Now, this fan is actually pointing out to the incident that happened between Anto Ferdinand and John Terry. Because if you remember, there was this game between Chelsea and QPR, and John Terry was caught saying, "You black cunt," to Anton Ferdinand. And if I'm not mistaken, I think those were the words. I really don't think he used the N-word, but man, who the fuck knows. But following the incident, he actually lost his captaincy of the English national squad, and later on when Manchester United were facing Chelsea, Rio Ferdinand actually refused to shake his hand. Now anyways, when John Terry saw the reply of the fan, he had to reply to that bitch. And he said, "Stats don't lie. Not guilty. Addressed it now what? You crazy clown." Now, the thing is, even if John Terry was found not guilty at that time by the courts, he was actually banned 4 games and he was fined 220,000 pounds from the Football Association, the FA. You see what I'm saying? So that means he was guilty at certain level. And the thing is, after the matter is, John Terry actually tried to reach out Anton Ferdinand, or he claimed he did so, but his efforts was actually rejected. And on a previous occasion too, John Terry said he once saw like Rio Ferdinand in the beach in Dubai with some honeys, and he approached him and he told him, "Have you got 5 minutes? I would like to talk to you." And Rio was like, "I don't want to talk to you, JT. I don't want none of that shit." And on top of this shit, man, on Rio Ferdinand book, he called John Terry an idiot. While on the other side too, Rio Ferdinand and Anton Ferdinand, they claimed that John Terry never reached out to apologize on none of that shit. And again, on the other side, John Terry said he's disappointed to hear this cap. So at this point in time, man, ain't no telling who's telling the truth and who's capping. But in this particular matter, I kinda understand where both are coming from. Now, if I was gonna make the top 5 best defenders of the Premier League history, my list would be hella different, for sure. But then again, this shit comes down to opinions and preferences. Now, if we start with John Terry perspective, it's kinda right to feel salty, because John Terry was part of the defense that conceded only 15 goals throughout the whole season. The season 2004-2005 when they won the Premier League title under Jose Mourinho. And I'm not even a Chelsea fan, but I would definitely put John Terry higher up, like no cap. And that's why maybe John Terry felt the need to respond. After all, Rio Ferdinand is saying this shit in BT Sport, there's a big audience, and as one of the ghost defender in the Premier League, John Terry thinking like, damn, motherfuckers gotta put respect on my name. And if you're thinking about it, like in football terms, Van Dijk has only won 1 Premier League title compared to him. And he put Van Dijk at number 3. John Terry has like 5 Premier League titles, man, but he finished at a solid number 5. And moving on to Rio Ferdinand perspective, I fully understand why would Rio downgrade Terry too. He said it himself in the tweet. There is an element of being salty, of being a little bit biased, and rightly so, because John Terry did accuse Anton Ferdinand racially, his younger brother. So I understand when Rio says, "Motherfucker, you like you're on my list. After all, this is my list, bitch." And even though over the years these homies have played together for the national team in England for a long time as a matter of fact, and even if both don't look eye to eye anymore, man, we can all agree on one thing, man. Those are one of the top great defenders in the Premier League history, whether you like them or not. But having said this though, what do y'all think? Do y'all think Rio Ferdinand is a better defender than John Terry? Or do y'all prefer John Terry aka JT in your team? Let me know your thoughts in the comment box. Like and subscribe. It's your boy Amuli, and I'm out.